Hey everybody, it's Jim here, and today I'm going to be talking about the magic number of 3 in the instance of guitar and music theory, thirds. How important they are, how they can add a little bit of flavor and kind of bring out different things in your writing, and also make space for the other people in the song, because at the end of the day, we have to work with others. We're not always, hopefully, jamming by ourselves. So to get started here, we're going to figure out how to identify what the thirds are. We're going to go right to the major scale and go from there. Okay, to begin with here, we're going to start at the A major scale, which is just going to be this. That's it. So what you want to do now is to identify the thirds. So you have your 1 here, which is the A. Then you have your 2, which is the B. The third here is the C sharp. So that's your third. So if we combine those. Now, where are you going to go next, you might wonder? Well, simply move up here to the second kind of place into the scale itself here, and then move everything accordingly. So the third now would be D, if we're playing the B, which is the second of the A major scale. So, now, the rest of the way here, we're just going to be progressively building it back up, and we're going to go through the major scale using the thirds. Okay, so now that we have that concept down, what I like to do in both my practice regime as well as a method to get myself from one point of the neck down to another while staying kind of in the same key and the same vibe, just use those same patterns to work your way up and down the neck, landing you in different positions, something like this. Landing right back on the A, only higher up the neck. Now this isn't just limited to the major scale, you can use it in any kind of scale that you want to work with. For example, let's change it over to a pentatonic scale. Alright, so in this example, the minor pentatonic, you kind of have to think outside of the box, and that's one of the reasons why I like implementing thirds, because we can't just go from here to here and have them be played at the same time. So we're going to have to play this note, the D, up where the D is up here in order for it to work. So, following the same pattern. Now, a practical example of a way that you might be able to use this in the song, I'll show you a riff that you've probably heard if you've listened to this channel. It's one of my go-to riffs of a song I wrote with my wife. The little fill is just thirds. So. Now in that riff, for example, when I play it the normal way that I do, it's relying on more than just the thirds as far as different phrasings within the kind of riff itself. But for that specific section, that's as easy as it is. It's pretty straightforward, and I think it adds a little bit without being overbearing in the context of the song. And using that riff, the last thing I want to talk about today is ways that you can experiment with your actual strumming itself. So if we just play things. That sounds pretty cool if you just finger pick it, but another thing you can do to kind of the Corey Wong. That's it. And it makes things a lot more interesting, but it shows how important the phrasing is, because if I just go. Even versus something like. It really makes you appreciate kind of a lot of people's techniques, because it's the nuances of their playing, like somebody like Corey, that makes them have their own unique kind of vibe. And something like the way that he plays thirds, and it's not just thirds, he does this thing with the sixth a lot as well. I notice a lot from his kind of compositions where it's a lot of downstrokes, a lot of quick movements and stuff like that. There is the helicopter hand too, but sticking to this kind of topic of thirds, it's just a lot of this. And the cool thing about this exercise is it can be limitless. This is not just exclusive to thirds. If you wanted to play fourths, you do the same exact thing, except you use a different formula to build the fourths. So instead of 1, 2, 3, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and then you just continue onward and upward. Fifth, sixth, seventh, doesn't matter. It's all about how much time you want to put into it to identify the intervals. I just feel like the thirds was a really, really good place to start because tonally and sonically, it's something that I really vibe with. It has a really, really cool kind of tone to it, and it's just a positive sounding thing, and I like playing music that sounds like that. And if you found any of these concepts difficult, or you're really interested in taking your knowledge of theory even further and improving as a musician, again, I highly recommend checking out the Signal Studio Songwriting and Theory course. It will get you from all the way to not knowing a damn thing to well beyond where I am if you take it and you apply it in the best possible manner and you're diligent, because the most important thing about any of this, all of this information is only as good as the practice and the time that you put into learning and mastering it. So if you found this video helpful, please leave a like and leave me a comment. Let me know what you'd like to see going forward here. I have a feeling the next kind of lesson-ish kind of thing is going to be focusing on this. I know I played the intro riff, but I didn't actually break it down. I just wanted to show you an example of the power of thirds. But if you're interested, I will do that in the next one. I realized I just said the power of thirds like I was some sort of 80s superhero in a comic book story. But regardless, we'll be focusing on the right hand technique from there on. And I keep making this, why is everything so silly today? I'm in a mood. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Take it easy.